Chosen one, hear this carefully, because this message is not for everyone. It's only for the ones God is preparing for a major rise. If you're watching this right now, understand, your wealth is closer than you think. God is about to place abundance in your hands, but He's also giving you a warning. When you finally get rich, don't act rich. Stay humble. Stay low-key. Because the moment your blessings multiply, so will the eyes watching you. This is the season where God lifts you quietly, silently, and secretly. Not everyone deserves to know what He's about to give you. Your growth must be loud to heaven, but silent to earth. So before you go deeper into this video, do 3 things to connect with this divine message. Like this video, comment, "Thank you God for guiding me," and subscribe to send your signal to the universe. Now, let's begin. Everyone celebrates you. When you're broke, but not when you rise. When you're struggling, when you're broke, when you're just trying to survive. People around you feel very relaxed. They smile with you. They joke with you. And they act like they understand you. In those moments, everyone feels equal to you because there is no competition. You're not a threat. You're not shining too brightly. Your life looks simple, so people feel safe around you. Some even feel superior to you because they believe you're not going anywhere. But the moment God starts lifting you, everything changes. When your situation improves, when your money starts growing, when you begin to rise, people's true nature quietly starts coming out. Suddenly, the same people who once cheered for you begin to look at you differently. Your confidence becomes attitude. Your silence becomes arrogance. Your growth becomes an ego trip in their eyes. Not because you changed, but because your progress is forcing them to confront their own stagnation. When God opens doors for you, it exposes the intentions of the people standing beside you. Some people liked you only when you were struggling because it made them feel better about themselves. They were comfortable with your brokenness, not your breakthrough. The moment you rise, they start feeling insecure, jealous, or distant. Suddenly, they don't clap the same way anymore. They don't celebrate your wins like before. They don't treat you with the same warmth. This is why acting simple becomes important. When you stay low-key, stay grounded, and stay humble, it keeps fake personalities away from you. Your simplicity helps you protect your peace. You don't have to announce your blessings to anyone. You don't have to prove you're rising. Your wealth is not a trophy for the world. It's a responsibility given to you by God. Moving softly means you don't let the world know everything happening in your life. Not everyone deserves a front-row seat to your progress. Not everyone has the heart to celebrate your growth. And not everyone has the maturity to handle your blessings without feeling threatened. When you keep a simple lifestyle and move quietly, people assume you're still the same person. And that's the beauty of it. You get to rise without pressure, without jealousy, without unnecessary attention. You grow in peace. You build in silence. You protect what God is giving you without noise or drama. Because the truth is simple. The same people who once felt comfortable when you were broke may not be able to handle the version of you that God is creating. So stay humble. Stay modest. Let people underestimate you. Let them think you're still the same. Meanwhile, let God elevate you behind the scenes. You don't need the world to understand your rise. Only God needs to know how high He has lifted you. Your growth is between you and Him. And that's enough. Real rich people don't prove anything. They protect everything. When a person truly becomes rich, rich in money, rich in wisdom, rich in blessings, They don't feel the need to show it to the world. Real wealth doesn't scream, it whispers. People who are genuinely blessed don't need to post everything, brag about everything, or tell everyone how successful they are. They already know what they have. They don't need validation, and they don't need applause. Their success speaks for itself, even in silence. The more God blesses you, the more careful you must become. Because prosperity is not just about money, it's about responsibility. When your life starts improving, you automatically become more visible. And visibility is not always safe. Some people will look at you with inspiration, but others will look at you with hidden jealousy. Some will clap for you in public, but secretly compete with you in private. Some will admire your growth, but others will quietly wonder why you succeeded before them. That's why real rich people live quietly. They don't flaunt what they have, because they understand how fragile blessings can be when exposed to the wrong eyes. They protect their money, their peace, their relationships, their happiness, and even their plans. They don't tell everyone what they are doing because not everyone has a clean heart. Some people don't want to see you rise. Some don't want to see you win. And some only want to be close to you when they can benefit from you. Showing off attracts attention, but staying simple attracts peace. When you live low-key, people don't target you, question you, or expect too much from you. They assume your life is normal, and that assumption becomes your protection. You get to grow quietly, plan peacefully, and enjoy your success without pressure. No competition, no jealousy, no fake love, just pure, calm progress. Think about it. A tree that grows fruit doesn't make noise. It simply grows silently, season after season. But people come to steal the fruit, not the leaves. That's why the fruitful branches must be protected. Your blessings are the fruits of your life. And the more fruits you produce, the more careful you must be. Real rich people don't need to prove anything, because they already know who they are. They don't chase attention, because attention brings problems. They don't try to look rich, because they are rich. And they know that the smartest way to stay rich is to stay private. Your silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. Your simplicity is not poverty, it's protection. When you act humble, you stay safe. When you stay quiet, you stay powerful. And when you keep your blessings private, no one can destroy what they cannot see. So remember, the goal is not to show the world how rich you are. The goal is to build a life so blessed, so stable, and so peaceful that you don't need the world to notice. You only need God to guide you. Real prosperity doesn't need to be displayed. It needs to be protected. God lifts you quietly for a reason. When God decides to raise you, He doesn't always do it in front of the world. He doesn't make a big announcement. He doesn't draw attention. Instead, He works in silence. He shifts things behind the scenes. He moves people, opens doors, and changes your path in ways that others cannot see. Chosen ones almost always rise quietly, and that's not an accident. That's God's protection. If God wanted your blessing to be public from the beginning, He would put a spotlight on you. But He doesn't. Why? Because not every person around you has a pure heart. Some people stand beside you only as long as you are struggling. They feel comfortable when you are small. They feel safe when you depend on them. But the moment they see your growth, their intentions change. Jealousy gets triggered. Insecurity awakens. Hidden competition starts. That's why God keeps your rise hidden until you are strong enough to handle it. God knows who genuinely loves you and who only loves what they get from you. He sees the hearts you cannot see. Some people would try to drain you. Some would try to block your progress. Some would try to take credit for what God is doing in your life. And some would even try to destroy your blessing before it fully grows. That's why God covers your rise in silence. He lifts you in a way that others cannot track. You may sometimes wonder why your success feels slow or invisible. You might question why others seem ahead publicly while you keep working quietly. But what you don't realize is that God is building your foundation in a hidden place so no one can interfere. You are rising underground like a seed, protected, unseen, and growing roots strong enough to carry the weight of your future. When God keeps you low-key, people underestimate you. They assume your life is still the same. They think you're not progressing. They think they're ahead of you. And that underestimation becomes powerful protection. People don't attack what they think is harmless. They don't sabotage what they believe is small. They don't envy what they assume is not growing. Your simplicity becomes your shield. God lifts chosen ones quietly because their destiny is too big to be exposed too early. If people knew what God was preparing for you, they would interfere, manipulate, or try to claim it. But God doesn't give them that chance. He hides your blessing until it becomes undeniable, until no one can stop it, no one can question it, and no one can take credit for it. So if your rise feels silent, don't think God forgot you. The silence is the strategy. The privacy is the protection. You're not being delayed, you're being prepared. And when the right moment comes, God will reveal you in a way that shocks everyone who doubted you. Your destiny is too precious to be exposed early. That's why God lifts you quietly and powerfully. The more you shine, the more you attract jealousy. The world has a strange way of reacting when someone begins to rise. As long as you're struggling, as long as you're quiet, as long as your life looks ordinary, people don't pay attention. You blend in. You're invisible. But the moment God starts polishing you, the moment your life begins to glow even a little, suddenly the air around you changes. People who once ignored you start noticing you, not because they're proud of you, but because your shine is showing them who they are not. This is the harsh reality. Success doesn't just attract admiration, it also attracts jealousy. When you start transforming, people who were once comfortable with you start feeling uncomfortable. Your progress becomes a mirror that exposes their stagnation. Your growth reminds them of their excuses. Your rise quietly challenges their ego. Even if you don't compete with anyone, they feel like you're winning a race they didn't even know they were running. Jealousy doesn't always come loudly. Sometimes it shows up through small reactions, people becoming distant, people pretending not to see your effort, people downplaying your achievements, or giving backhanded compliments. They don't congratulate you because deep down they feel threatened by the fact that you're becoming someone they never expected. This is why acting low-key is not weakness, it's wisdom. When you keep a simple lifestyle and move quietly, it keeps unnecessary eyes away from you. People don't feel the need to compare themselves to someone they believe is still on the same level. They don't feel insecure about someone who appears normal. Your simplicity gives you a peaceful space to grow without being watched, judged, or monitored. The truth is, not everyone has the emotional maturity to handle someone else's success. Some people will never clap for you unless they feel they are above you. Some will smile at you, but secretly wonder how you reached a place they thought belonged to them. When you shine openly, you attract attention. But when you shine silently, you attract peace. Growing quietly allows you to focus on your goals without interference. It keeps your path clean. It protects your heart from unnecessary comparisons. It gives you the freedom to learn, make mistakes, improve, and rise without pressure. And as long as people believe you're still the same, they leave you alone. They don't target you. They don't question you. They don't try to pull you down. Your invisibility becomes your power. You get to build in peace. You get to rise without noise. And when God finally reveals you at the right time, the same people who underestimated you will have no choice but to accept your growth. Remember, not every blessing needs to be broadcasted. Some blessings grow stronger in silence. The less people know about your shine, the safer your shine remains. People can't attack what they can't see. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they start rising is telling the whole world about it. They think sharing every win, every blessing, every new step will bring them more love and more support. But the truth is the opposite. The more people know about your blessings, the more vulnerable those blessings become. Not everyone has good intentions. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. Some people smile in your face while secretly hoping for your downfall. That's why God often tells chosen ones to stay private. When you get blessed, whether it's money, opportunities, relationships, ideas, or growth, the safest thing you can do is act normal. Don't suddenly change your lifestyle. Don't dress to impress. And don't start behaving like you're above anyone. Keep the same simplicity. Wear the same kind of clothes. Talk the same way. Move through life quietly. When people assume your life is the same, they stop paying attention. And when they're not paying attention, they cannot interfere. The moment you show off, the moment you brag, the moment you start flashing your blessings, the wrong people start circling around you. Some will approach you pretending to be supportive, but deep down, they want something from you. Some will try to drain your energy, your money, or your time. Others will try to manipulate you into doing things that only benefit them. And then there are those who don't want to use you. They simply don't want to see you ahead of them. They will quietly throw jealousy, negativity, and doubt toward you. This is why privacy is power. When your life is hidden, no one knows where to hit you. No one knows how much you have, what you're planning, or what God is doing behind the scenes. You leave no space for jealousy, competition, or sabotage. People can't block what they cannot see. They can't ruin what they don't know exists. And they can't attack blessings they don't even realize you have. Living privately protects your peace too. You don't have to perform for anyone. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to meet anyone's expectations. You get to grow at your own pace without feeling watched or judged. You get to enjoy your blessings quietly without worrying about who will misunderstand or misuse them. Privacy keeps your heart clean, your mind focused, and your path clear. It's not about hiding because you're scared. It's about hiding because you're smart. Even a seed grows underground before it comes into the light. Even a baby is protected in the womb before it enters the world. Every precious thing is kept covered until it's strong enough to handle exposure. Your blessings deserve the same protection. So stay simple, stay private. Let people assume whatever they want. Your life doesn't need to be a show. It needs to be secure. Your blessings don't need attention. They need protection. Because people can't attack what they can't see, and what stays hidden stays safe. God wants you to stay humble, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Humility is one of the most powerful spiritual qualities a chosen one can have. People often misunderstand humility and think it means shrinking yourself, lowering your value, or acting like you don't matter. But that's not true. Humility is not about making yourself small. It's about keeping your heart and mind in the right place. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Only a strong person can stay calm and grounded, even when life gives them reasons to boast. When God blesses you, whether with money, opportunities, healing, wisdom, or success, He also watches how you handle those blessings. Staying humble keeps you grounded. It reminds you that everything you have came from a higher power, not from your ego. When you remain humble, you stay connected to God because you acknowledge that your strength and your rise are not just your own doing. They are a result of divine grace. Humility also keeps your heart clean. When you stay grounded, you don't fall into comparisons, competition, or pride. You don't start looking down on others, and you don't start believing you're better than everyone else. Instead, you remain accessible, kind, and compassionate. This creates a pure energy around you, and that purity attracts even more blessings. God continues to trust people who don't let blessings change their character. Staying humble keeps your mind focused as well. When you're not distracted by showing off or proving anything to anyone, you can give your full attention to your purpose. You think clearly. You make better decisions. You avoid unnecessary drama. You remain disciplined. God can guide you easily because your heart is not filled with noise, pride, or ego. Humility opens the door for clarity and wisdom. Another blessing of staying humble is protection. When you keep your head low, you avoid unnecessary attention. People who show off often attract jealousy, competition, and negativity. But when you remain simple, people feel safe around you. They don't see you as a threat. They don't envy you. And because they underestimate you, you move through life quietly and securely. Humility acts like a shield that keeps your blessings safe from evil eyes. And here is the most beautiful part. When God sees that you remain humble, even as He elevates you, He adds even more to your cup. God loves a humble heart because humility shows maturity. It shows gratitude. It shows responsibility. When you stay simple while rising, you prove that you're ready for more. God knows you won't misuse blessings, you won't hurt others, and you won't forget where you came from. The world may teach you to show off your wealth, your success, or your growth. But God teaches you differently. Stay humble, stay grateful, and stay grounded. Because the one who remains humble never falls. Humility is the foundation that keeps a chosen one steady during their rise. And as long as you honor God with humility, He will keep overflowing your life with blessings you never imagined. Your silence will confuse your enemies. People who secretly compete with you expect one thing from you: noise. They expect you to announce your blessings. They expect you to share every detail of your life. They expect you to show off your progress so they can watch you, judge you, and look for ways to pull you down. Your enemies don't fear your success. They fear not knowing about it. When you stay silent, you take away their power. You confuse them because silence creates mystery. They want to know how much money you're making, what opportunities you're getting, who you're connecting with, what decisions you're making, and what doors are opening for you. But when you don't talk, they're left guessing. Guessing creates pressure. Pressure creates frustration. And frustration makes them powerless. Your silence becomes a wall they cannot climb. They can't track your moves. They can't study your path. They can't prepare their attacks. They don't know what you are doing behind the scenes, and that lack of information drives them crazy. They may ask mutual friends about you, check your social media, or try to observe your lifestyle, but when you're low-key, they find nothing. Every attempt to understand your growth leads to confusion. This confusion is protection. Because your enemies can't destroy what they cannot see. They can't block blessings they don't know exist. They can't sabotage opportunities they never heard about. They can't gossip about progress they can't prove. Your silence keeps your destiny in your own hands, not in their conversations, not in their jealousy, not in their plans. Many people only attack when they see something. They don't attack darkness, they attack light. When you glow quietly, they miss your shine. When you act normal, they assume your life hasn't changed. When you live simply, they think you're still at the same level. This gives you freedom to rise without interference. Your enemies expect you to act rich because that's what prideful people do. They expect you to show off because that's what loud people do. But when you act poor, simple clothes, simple lifestyle, simple words, they cannot judge you. They cannot measure you. They cannot predict you. And unpredictability is one of the strongest spiritual weapons. People can only hit a target they can see clearly. If they cannot see your moves, they cannot block them. Staying silent also keeps your spirit peaceful. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't have to defend your success or justify your plans. You grow in your own space, at your own pace, guided only by God. And when the time comes for God to reveal your rise, it will be at a moment when no enemy can interfere, no jealous person can speak against you, and no negative energy can slow you down. Your silence is not emptiness. It is strategy. It is strength. It is divine wisdom. The less you say, the more you protect. And the more you protect, the higher God can lift you without interruption. God gives big blessings to people who don't show off small ones. Before God puts something big in your hands, He tests how you handle the small things. Every small blessing you receive, whether it's a little extra money, a new opportunity, a small promotion, a new device, or even a moment of recognition, is actually a spiritual test. God watches your reaction. Do you become proud? Do you start bragging? Do you rush to tell the world? Or do you quietly appreciate it, stay grounded, and move forward with gratitude? If you show off a small blessing, it reveals something important about your heart. You are more focused on attention than responsibility. You want applause more than growth. You want approval more than alignment. And God cannot trust someone with big blessings if their ego gets triggered by small ones. Think about it. If a person shows off a new phone, what will they do when they buy a new house? If they brag about a small achievement, how will they act with a millionaire-level opportunity? Some people get carried away by little things, and that shows they are not prepared for big things. God looks for maturity. He looks for discipline. He looks for a heart that stays calm even when good things happen. He observes whether you can receive something quietly, use it wisely, and keep moving forward without trying to impress anyone. When you act simple, even when your blessings grow, God sees wisdom in that. He sees that you don't need the world's validation. You don't need attention to feel valuable. You don't need to announce every blessing to feel blessed. You are content with God knowing, and that alone makes you trustworthy. People who crave attention are easily influenced by others. People who flaunt are easily distracted. People who brag lose focus. But people who stay simple remain aligned with their purpose. This is why God gives major blessings to people who don't show off minor ones. He knows that when their blessings increase, their humility will stay the same. They won't misuse wealth. They won't lose control. They won't become arrogant. They won't let success change their character. Their heart will stay clean, steady, and disciplined. And that is exactly the kind of heart God wants to pour overflow into. A heart that doesn't change with blessings. A heart that stays grounded no matter how high it rises. A heart that handles blessings with responsibility, not pride. Acting simple is not pretending to be poor. It's showing God that your identity is not built on material things. It's proving that your happiness and your worth are not tied to what you own. It's demonstrating that your spirit is ready for abundance because you won't allow abundance to control you. When God sees this maturity in you, the doors start opening, opportunities expand, breakthroughs multiply, finances grow, favor increases, because God knows your heart is in the right place. And when your heart is right, overflow becomes your destiny. Your future is bigger than your image. Protect it. God is shaping a future for you that is far greater than anything you have seen so far. The life ahead of you is not small. It is huge. It is full of breakthroughs, opportunities, peace, abundance, and connections that will completely change the direction of your life. Your future is brighter than your past and far more powerful than your present. But to step into that future, you need wisdom. You must learn how to protect what God is preparing for you. As you rise, you will notice something very clearly. Not everyone who smiles at you has a clean heart. Some friends support you only as long as you stay on their level. The moment God lifts you higher, their energy changes. They distance themselves, they speak differently, or they start acting competitive. And it's not because you changed. It's because your future threatens their comfort. Even within family, jealousy can quietly appear. Some relatives love you, but they don't love the idea of you going further than they did. They might not say anything, but their silence during your success speaks loudly. The truth is, people around you may not always celebrate your rise, but God still expects you to rise. Then there are followers, acquaintances, or people who watch you from the outside. They may cheer for you publicly, but inside, they don't want you to pass them. Some don't want you to grow too fast, too far, or too high. This is why wisdom becomes your biggest shield. When you get blessed, when you get rich, when your life starts expanding, act like you're still the same person. Stay simple. Stay normal. Keep your lifestyle grounded. This is not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about protecting the future God has designed for you. When you appear normal, people don't feel threatened. They don't feel jealous. They don't start competing. They don't create unnecessary drama around your success. Staying low-key protects your peace. It allows you to build quietly without pressure. Nobody knows what to expect from you, so nobody can interfere. You move silently, and that silence becomes your biggest strength. The world cannot attack a plan it cannot see. Remember this: the real flex is not showing your wealth. The real flex is living peacefully while you build something huge behind the scenes. Your future doesn't need noise, it needs protection. Your destiny doesn't need attention, it needs focus. Your purpose doesn't need approval, it needs discipline. And your blessings don't need display, they need privacy. God is preparing an empire for you, but an empire is never built in public. It grows brick by brick in silence, away from the crowd, until one day it stands strong for the world to see. Your future deserves the same treatment. So act simple, move quietly, stay humble, not because you are hiding anything, but because what you are building is too precious to expose. Your future is bigger than your image, and if you protect it now, it will reward you for the rest of your life.